Hey guys, what's up? It's Eric. Today we're going to review Fate EXTELLA, the Umbral Star on the Nintendo Switch. Holy physical game, Batman. So Fate EXTELLA, the Umbral Star, I'm going to come out right off the bat. I'm not familiar with any of the Fate games. I know there's been a couple, and there's also a pretty big, I guess, novel series of Fate EXTELLA and Fate Extra and Fate, I don't know, all sorts of Fate stuff. A lot of people have a lot of love for a lot of these characters. I've read that there's a niche audience of Fate fans out there that actually are looking forward to this game coming out onto a Nintendo system, that Nintendo's been missing out a lot on cashing in on this. And guess what? It's finally here, Fate EXTELLA, and I was excited to check it out. Looking at trailers and gameplay footage of it, looked like it was going to be right up my alley because it plays a lot like a Dynasty Warriors game. I was a big fan of some of the games like Hyrule Warriors, Warriors Orochi, and Dynasty Warriors, and even Dragon Quest Heroes that came out in Japan on the Nintendo Switch, which I reviewed. So, Fate EXTELLA plays a lot like it. The concept, the basic concept of the Warrior series, where you're running around, killing hordes and hordes of enemies, hacking and slashing, controlling certain areas of the battlefield on the map, is right there. This game plays exactly like all the other Warriors clones out there, and for the most part, it's not a bad thing. Now, as of course, if you're not into the hack and slash genre, after the initial, hour or two of gameplay, you're gonna start running into a lot of repetitiveness, seeing a lot of the same moves, a lot of the same animations, hearing the same vocals and dialogue, and it does get quite a bit repetitive. For me, I didn't mind that so much with Hyrule Warriors because I knew the Zelda series. I knew a lot of what was going on, and I enjoyed it. This, I'm not a big Fate fan, so I was pretty much lost with a lot of the dialogue and story in this game. To begin with, speaking of story, it is very text-heavy. There's a lot of reading that you have to do in cutscenes of the games. The voice acting is still in Japanese, so you have to read, unfortunately. And there's a weird story going on with the character that you're playing. In a nutshell, there was like a Holy Grail war where something happened to you, and you're recovering from it, and you have like a loss of memory, and then there's a whole shebang story that has like a weird twist and a turn, and you have like a romance with your Saber, who's your servant, but there's also 4 other servants that you help control and stuff, and it's pretty convoluted for me because I'm definitely not familiar with the series. But overall, as far as gameplay goes, if you're into Warriors, Orochi, and all those games, you're going to enjoy it. It might get a bit repetitive, but it's not bad. Now, overall, the performance of this game is pretty solid. I didn't experience too much frame rate issues or slow down or anything. The graphics actually looked a lot better on the portable mode on the Switch tablet. It looks like it was enhanced to keep, handheld gaming more in mind. Now, I think the reason why this game runs so good on Switch is because the enemies, let's be honest, aren't that detailed. They're basically primitive looking robots with grays and, no real detail at all, no faces, no different features. It's enemies that spawn, and hundreds of them exactly look the same. Very basic detail. So I guess that's, dumbing down, graphics to make the gameplay a little bit better. I didn't experience this game when it came out on PS4, so I don't know how much better it looks over there. But as far as my experience goes with the Nintendo Switch, it looks okay. Now, there is all the DLC included from the PS4 version, and it's all in this bundle in a physical copy, which on the Nintendo Switch, a lot of people want physical copies. It also came with a manual, so that is very cool. I believe there was a collector's edition out of country, like in Europe or Japan, so that might be something you want to look forward to. Overall presentation of this game is pretty good. There's a lot of side stories, side mission stuff, and a thing about bonding with your servants between battles. You have cutscenes with them, and it's kind of like a weird dating sim. And I know a lot of Japanese anime, JRPG type of games do this stuff. For me, I really don't care for that stuff. So I'm not really into the anime culture aspects of this game, but I'm not going to let that hinder my overall experience with the gameplay. And just to win the levels, you have to control each sector. Each sector has a number of keys. The first team either your team or the enemy team to get 15 keys wins the whole map. In between that, you gotta kill hundreds of enemies to get aggressor enemies to come out, and you have to kill those aggressors in order to take over the sector. Now, once in a while, a plant enemy, which looks like a big turtle thing, will come out and spawn more aggressors. So that's gonna be, in a nutshell, what happens. Attack enemies, attack aggressors, attack plant enemies, rinse, repeat. And it does get a little old after a couple hours, so most of the missions last about 20 minutes. So you won't find yourself playing too long unless you really love it. I kept playing in small increments going between this and Splatoon. Overall, I think, you know, Fate EXTELLA, while I wasn't too interested in the story because I just didn't get anything in my dumb non-anime head, just didn't want to deal with the text reading, as a core game, it plays nice, and I'm excited because there's not too many hack and slash games on the Nintendo Switch. Dragon Quest Heroes is not over here yet, which I hope it does come to the United States. But if this runs this great, it leads me to believe that future hack and slash games will be even better. So I'm going to give Fate EXTELLA a 7 out of 10, just because it's a pretty decent game. If you're not a fan of Fate EXTELLA and hack and slashes, maybe stay away from it. But if this looks like something that you want to experience because there's nothing else like it that you can play right now, check it out. It won't do you any harm. I don't think you'll be disappointed. It's an above average game, that's for sure. It's passable, 7 out of 10. You know, you might find some fun out of it. And well, guys, that's it for today's video. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time.